we'll dive right in. I'll give you a sort of a top line overview of what WeDream is and what our vision is for the future. We started this focused on how do you drive intimate connections remotely, right? Right now there's obviously all these different social media channels out there. We think that those systems are slightly broken in a sense, and I mean that only in the world of we're not driving as intimate connections as we'd like to, and in fact it feels very disparate. So what I'm getting at is, when you're driving down the road in your car and someone cuts you off, it's very easy for you to say, you X blank word, right? You cut me off, and you're mad. You might flip them the bird or something, and that's because you're in your car, your windows are rolled up, and you're enclosed. You're not actually interacting with that person. It's like two vehicles on the road going head to head. And this is a little bit of what we see on Twitter and whatnot when people are not necessarily kind to each other. Our goal with WeDream is in do you connect hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people from around the world in an intimate setting. So right now I'm in my at-home office. And if we all dropped into WeDream together, instead of you just being someone on a screen, your avatar would actually pop up in front of me in my room, and my phone would be my lens, allowing me to see you moving and bouncing around my room as we talk and interact, right? And so this idea, this concept, and again, I could have 15 buddies all come in and spend time with me in my office, and I'm showing up in their living rooms and their offices and wherever they are. And what we found through our studies, through our tests over the last 2 years that we've been working on this project, is that when you have that more intimate setting, people are able to interact in the same way where, again, think about the analogy of two cars and one car cutting off another, versus if we're walking down the street next to each other and I bump into you accidentally, I'm going to turn to you and I'm going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. How are you? My name's Peter. And it's going to lead to an interaction that's more positive, more intimate. And that's what we want to enable with WeDream. So WeDream's mission and vision is to connect people from around the world in an easy to access, all you need is your smartphone platform to create and build together in augmented reality. We started the company about 2 years ago, actually right at the beginning of COVID. And we said, people are sitting at home, whether you're using it for business collaboration or just to hang out with friends, how do we drive more of those interactions that we would see if we were physically in the same location together? And WeDream was focused on allowing people to, again, have those intimate connections. Even if you're in LA and I'm in New York, we can still feel like we're sitting right next to each other. The focus of WeDream has been on infrastructure, right? We want to provide the tools for creators to build and even monetize their creations within our platform. So again, what will be coming out here, I think we'll be able to get it out by the end of the year, is really a pretty exciting creators economy. So how it will work is you'll have, again, anyone, you really need no development skills, can say, I want to create Icarus shoes, right? These are going to be white sneakers with these beautiful gold wings that come out of the back of them, that are flaming, and and I'm going to build these, I'm going to model them, I'm going to create them within the WeDream platform, and then I can actually sell them on the WeDream marketplace by purchasing, again, a few slots in the inventory of that marketplace, and say, I'm gonna essentially sell, I'm only gonna sell 100 of these shoes, right? And I'm gonna sell them for $10 a piece, or 10 dream coins a piece. And then the community can actually come and purchase and acquire those accessories, or again, it could not just accessories, but objects, piece art, NFTs, however it is, each one of those is actually its own NFT that you're creating. When you say I only want to sell 100 of them, they're actually their own NFT. And the idea being, as we look to the future, we want to enable those with that creative spirit to, again, not just spend time and connect with friends on the platform, but actually drive revenue, drive income by providing the rest of the community with their creative with their creations, right? And we believe that this is important as we move forward in society. And I think this is not just WeDream, but the NFT movement as a whole is all about taking care of the artists that are pumping out incredible art. And in many situations, it's repurposed and the artist isn't actually even taken care of. What's beautiful about the NFT structure is that not just on the initial sale, but obviously on secondary revenue, secondary sales and purchases, that artist is paid for the work that they were able to provide. And this, I think, is, again, from a societal standpoint, is critical as we look to evolve as a species. And again, not just have it be about how much, what are, what do you do for a living and what do you do for work, but what is the value and joy that you're creating by producing these different pieces of art. So I'm a builder. I'm not a great artist, although I spend half my life writing on whiteboards. I'm a builder, and I always have been. As a child, I loved Legos. I loved building and creating sculptures, anything three-dimensional. I never followed the instructions ever. I was a rebellious child. As I grew up, in my teenage years, I loved to build cabins in the woods. I grew up in Vermont, in southern Vermont, and I'd go out and build these little tiny dwellings in the woods, little tree houses or little cabins. And what I realized is I love to build. And now as an adult, for the last, call it 14 years, I've been building companies. And I started actually in the cannabis industry at 18 years old. I got involved and started doing consulting work within that space, helping others bring their visions to life. And at 22 years old, I decided I wanted to build my own company, which was actually we failed. We raised a considerable amount of money, and as we opened our doors, got hung up in some of the regulations about how we'd raise the money specific to the cannabis industry, and had to give the money back. And that lesson, again, taught me more than the successes, right? But then from there, we continued to build different companies and technologies. I've always focused on finding brilliant creators and technologists. And my bread and butter is really the boring stuff, the FinOps legal. It's the structure, it's the incentive models on how do you build a corporate governance strategy, which is like the rules and regulations behind a company that keeps everyone on the same page and focused on the same goal. That, when I say everyone, I mean the investors that are going to put up the capital, the founders that are the ones that really have the ideas and that creative spirit, the employees that are gonna again carry the weight and really execute and make sure that vision is accomplished, even down to the consumers that are utilizing that technology or part of that community. That's been my focus, and when with WeDream, I got connected to some absolutely brilliant individuals, two, and I'm going to name them. One his name is Z. I call him Z. He's a little anonymous, and then the other is a guy named Gabe. Those two individuals really brought WeDream to life in our minds, in our imaginations, back when we were starting to build it out, and then have both gone above and beyond and figuring out how to bring these new ideas to life in a way that has never been seen before, right? The ability to connect the infrastructure that we've developed has applications. Again, I touched on this earlier, but from everything from business collaborations and loading a whiteboard into a shared augmented reality space and then actually being able to write on that whiteboard remotely from around the world, to live performances and going to a concert from the comfort of your living room, right? And actually being able to watch a performer and get up close to the fretboard as they're playing on the guitar. To immersive museum experiences, right? We go to my wife and I have an 8-month-old little boy. They just went to the Children's Museum, and there's all of these really cool exhibits. And imagine if you go to the Museum of Art and Science or Museum of History, and the exhibits actually come right out and start interacting with you, and we can use that as a tool for education. So the possibilities are limitless. We drink the Kool-Aid, as they say at WeDream. Our executive team, well, I should say our team is actually across 5 continents. So when we meet up, like this morning we met up, and I was in a park with one of the guys that's also out here in Denver, Colorado. Chidi's over on the East Coast, as well as Mary and Gabe's over there. And so we're all meeting up in these augmented spaces. I've been in Denver, Colorado now for about 13 years. So I live just south of the city in Cherry Hills. Future Shape 360 is coming in the next couple of weeks. So again, a lot of great artists. Some of my favorites, the Stoics, Gabe Weiss from the Stoics, who's been releasing a collection. He's doing these hand-drawn, and he'll drop his full collection, but these are his hand-drawn pieces.
Oh yeah, we're friends, and we always follow each other. I also got one.
Yeah, and so I have 2 of these. He said there's very few people that have 2. I have one. I was at VCon, which is where we first interacted, and then he drew me another one at NFT NYC, and then also Luther, who's fantastic. Do you know Luther as well? Fun art. And so they'll both be out here in Denver for Future Shape 360, which I want to say is in the next couple weeks. It's right at the end of July.
Oh.
It's a good community. I believe in the power of innovation. I believe in the importance of connection and community, and we have, I think, the perfect recipe for again, massive innovations across multiple industries here in Denver, Colorado.
Most of people, they know me because I also I'm NFT creators. I sold 2,000 NFTs last year.
Excellent.
So I got to help our community to get on board. But
yep.
Actually, I come from traditional fine art industry. So I'm curator of Bushway Open Studios and Highland Chelsea Open Studios, and also Park 23, and as well as a tech creationisian. So we have a really large group of our community.
We've been quietly building this infrastructure for 2 years.
Yeah, really quiet.
Exactly. Like, no, we didn't even hire any marketing team. We didn't even launch our social media till just a couple months ago. It was all focused on let's build and test this infrastructure and understand what people want, so we can make sure that we're designing this in a way that gives them, again, tools to really make it their own, right? So when you drop into WeDream, when you initially drop in, the first time, if there's no one in there with you, you're just looking at your room through your camera, right? But then all of a sudden you start to discover that you can design that room in different ways, and you can put an image container up on the wall, and you can put your NFTs up on the wall of your living room, or you can design it as a tropical paradise, right, with palm trees and a sun in the sky, and you're just hanging out in your living room. And then when you start bringing in your friends and whatnot, they can also pile on and build on top of that. So the idea has always been to really focus on infrastructure and access are 2 of our main pillars. Access to the masses, where you don't need, I have an Oculus sitting right down here. It's collecting dust because it's big and bulky, and not all my friends have them. goal was with only the need of a smartphone, you could drop into augmented reality and hang out with your friends. The idea being that anyone can get access, and that's part of it. You know, it's like, what do you have in your pocket? You probably have a smartphone. And not everyone has an Oculus, and not everyone can afford an Oculus. We wanted to say, you don't need to be, you don't need to have this XYZ technology. All you need is a smartphone. It's a free app. Come in, create, and play with us, right? And it's really in the name. Like, what will we dream up next, right? We being the collective community that's participating. So, you know, we're just now starting to map out what we're calling Dream Festival, which will be a pretty large event. We're hoping to have tens of thousands of people participating in Dream Festival, and it's all in augmented reality. That'll be at the end, probably early September is when. But Dream Festival will be. But we're trying to figure out exactly how much content we have. So it'll be between 4 and 7 days. And it will be a collection of upwards of 50 panels and discussions across all topics Web3, right? We'll be doing just some fun, interesting dialogue. So it'll be made up of, again, over what's called 4 days, 50 plus different panels. We should have 20 different performing artists.
Nice.
And then we're also going to be providing to right around 40 different Discord channels, Discord group communities, a free service where they can deep link a WeDream hangout room right into their Discord. So anyone that, again, if you're part of a community that has access to this technology, it'll show up as another channel. And if you're on your phone on Discord and you click on that channel, it'll automatically pull open WeDream and drop. You don't even need to make an account. It'll drop you right into that shared environment. And now, you know, on Discord, I always joke, I'm like, right on Discord. But now, all of a sudden, I can actually drop in and hang out with this community that I've been spending all this time with in type text. I can now actually sit with them in augmented reality and interact, right? It's still private because it's not, they can't see my surroundings. They can only hear my voice and see my physical movements showing up in their physical space.
Going to develop your own wallet, or people they're going to link their existing wallet to
Yes.
To buy the art if they like.
So we have the infrastructure set up, and just so you have a coin. Did you come to the event?
Yeah.
At 69.
Yeah, I took some video and I already published on my YouTube channel. It's a very short videos and also on Instagram. So, yeah, I love this coin.
It's a fun takeaway. So how it worked at the event was all of the art that was being displayed, you could actually bid on. So if you looked up to it, there's a little panel next to it, and you could click on bid on it. But you can click place bid, and then from there it would you just copy paste in your wallet address, and then you could enter in your bid for that piece of art. And it was a live auction that was actually running during the course of that event, which was really fun. I mean, it just plugged in via Wallet Connect, so it was, or MetaMask, so it was you could pretty much connect to any wallet. So distant future, we will be creating our own sort of in-app wallet, right? You'll have your own inventory in a sense, and that's where you'll store all of your you know, accessories and gadgets and anything that you acquire through your time.
How about NFTs?
Store NFTs in that wallet. And you don't even necessarily need to have the NFT stored in the in-app wallet. If you own an NFT, you can connect your wallet and upload that NFT via what we call an image container. So you can then display those in your shared environment that everyone can then come and check out. So like, for example, many of these Discord channels are NFT collections. So when you walk into their hangout room that will provide to them their WeDream space, you'll walk in and there'll be 40 of their NFTs on all the walls around you, right? And we have corner syncing. And so how that works, right now I'm in my office, but you can see up here, this is a corner of my office, right? And so how it actually works is I can walk up in the app and I can sync that corner. And when I sync that corner, everyone else that drops into that dream where I've synced a corner, it'll ask them to sync a corner within their space. So now they walk in and they sync a corner within their room. And immediately our corners are now synced up. So if you throw a beach ball against the wall in augmented reality, it'll bounce back. But even more importantly, if I put a piece of art up along this wall and along this wall, anyone that drops into that room, they sync a corner and boom, now the art is hanging on their walls in their house, in their space as well. Except that NFT, so if you take it down or you move it or you don't want them in your dream, you have absolute control over that. But it's a way for you to showcase, again, essentially an augmented reality gallery for your art that anyone can access from around the world to come in and bid on your projects. And we do, so WeDream takes a 2.5% fee on any transaction that happens on the platform. You can display whatever you want to display. It's absolutely free, and we only would take a fee if anything was actually transacted. If someone said, all right, I'm going to pay 20 ETH for your for this piece, this NFT, we'd take our 2.5% rate off of that. Responsibility as a human being is obviously take care of those around us, but on that same level is create value, innovate and build and create to benefit society as a whole. So at any time I can be involved and on the educational element, on the educational side, I'd be honored to be a part. As we look at this, we're just getting started with WeDream, right? We're just getting started with Web3 in general. I think there's a lot of open space to pioneer and innovate. Exactly. And at the end of the day, I'm interested in connecting with great people and great communities that want to build this future world together. It's a rare opportunity. If you look at the history of humanity, it's a rare opportunity to have this type of technological breakthrough. And again, all I can ask for is that if anyone has great ideas or great concepts and wants to build together, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can build.
Today is for education, not financial legal advice.
Do more of these.
Yes, of course.